my virtual's on. That's funny. Let's see. All right, figured I would take my virtual background off and show you guys the real background. Welcome to my patio.
Hey there.
Hey, Peter.
How you doing? You're gonna think I'm a little crazy.
Let's get on that plane.
We gotta be.
Oh man. Got it. Oops, wrong. Let's see. My sound has been really choppy here today, so let me get on this one.
I see two of you. My audio on my computer is not working. It's been a day. So I'm doing it like this. So we're gonna do a mark.
I have trouble with it this morning. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll just switch over to just here. That should be fine. There we go. So now it's just me right here. Oh, I should probably get my phone charger. Just a second. All right. Let's charge my phone. I've had to charge my phone so much lately. A little crazy. Let's see who all we've got here. Oh, the aunts. You got Mike and Verna. Hey, lady. Getting everybody here. Got my. Sorry, Holly. Also, I will respond to your text. It's been a little bit crazy, as you can imagine. So, Denver, you want to come say hi? I got my sweet puppy. It's pretty cute. Huh? We're talking about you. She's going stir crazy, which is really funny to me because this is her always life. She's always. I will say this much. I know everything's a little weird, right? Everything's a little crazy right now. I am very grateful. We've been quarantined. I mean, we live in Houston, right? We get quarantined a lot because of hurricanes and rain and floods and stuff. But look how beautiful it is out. It's so nice outside. I'm not used to having to stay home with it being so pretty out. So I'm pretty grateful for that.
That's awesome.
It's just so pretty outside. I'm very, very lucky to live in a city that it's, I mean, sitting out here is great, but my allergies are also like super not awesome. Everyone here is joking about that with the corona thing. They're like, do I have corona or do I have allergies? Let's see, who else you got? Anthony, there you are. Move you on over. right. Gonna get started here in a few minutes. We will let you know Peter's gonna have to jump off. He's actually at the airport going back home. He flew in for just a couple hours to get some stuff done to film for the virtual Elevate, and then he's heading back. All right, get started in a few minutes, getting some more people on here. This is Denver. She's very excited that her mom gets to stay home with her.
She's beautiful.
She's a good girl. She's probably like, this is the best. Why are you here? Stay here forever. She's not really understanding the work from home thing though. She's like, well, you're here. Why aren't we playing? You know, but I feel like she'll get it eventually, just not this week. All right, we got Rebecca joining us. We got some online callers. I know sometimes the connection can be rough, so we appreciate you getting on any way you can. I don't know if anyone has seen this, but in the Consultants of Excellence group and on our social media, we have a really big company call tomorrow. Shh, it's top secret. I know who's going to be on the call. It's pretty a big deal. I think you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned at 4:30 Central Time. We are going to announce who it is, and I think you guys are going to be really excited. All right. Virtual work from home, super fun. You're working on your phone, you're working on your laptop, you're doing all the stuff. Also, I know we had technical difficulties this morning. I was working on it since like 7 a.m., so I'm sorry I didn't get posted after 9. But Peter did a great workout this morning. Chrissy did a really good one yesterday, and we have a toilet paper challenge coming up tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. Rusi Marco up in Canada is going to be doing it. And make sure you grab all that spare toilet paper you haven't used up yet because it's pretty good. That's also going to be 8 a.m. Central. We've got some really awesome people lined up for next week, including one Mr. Andre Steppenfield is going to be joining us to do a workout, which I'm pretty excited about. So we really are having fun doing this and staying active. I think that if you're in self-isolation and stuff like that, it's really important to keep active and keep working out and keep doing stuff and taking my dog for walks and doing my workouts because we've all made too much progress to let it go. And I think it's really important that we stay focused on ourselves no matter what the chaos is around us, for sure. And that's just my 2 cents.
Well, happy Thursday to everybody from Houston, Texas. As Adriel said, I'm literally getting on that plane in a little while, and You know, it's amazing when things go sideways. It's kind of, in my opinion, God sometimes adjusts people's moral compass on what's important, and we prioritize things. So if you're just joining us for the first time, make sure you go to zurvita.com/pledge and register for our just for an abundance of tools and information so that you can become part of this great culture. We give you news that you could use. You're invited to a social media pledge, Zurvita Pledge group. And, you know, I also want to just share, here we are, you know, life is very different. And, you know, I'm walking through the airport this morning, and I do have an autoimmune disease, and I'm taking precautions and washing my hands, and there's no one in the airport. I was the only person on the plane, and we don't know how blessed we are and how fortunate we are. And I think we are in the wellness business, and right now what we need to realize is to increase our autoimmune system, we need to take care of that one model year that God has given us. And we have an amazing product called Zeo. Anti-inflammatory properties, increases your autoimmune system, gives you energy. So this is a perfect time, stay home, in-home business, and truly be that best version of yourself. You know, every week we have special guests, and I had Jamie, who's become a great friend of mine from Ohio, send me a video of a friend of his who's part of the company as well, Anthony Dutt. And I watched this video, and it touched my heart. And it touched my heart because, you know, many of us, we go through hills and valleys, and we really need to be that walking, living example. And I think that when this pledge came out, something about Anthony making that declaration out loud really changed the course of the direction in which he was going. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Anthony, and I would like for you, Anthony, to just articulate on how this Zurvita Pledge has really changed parts of your life as well as your family.
Can you hear me?
I certainly can. Thank you for being here.
You know, first of all, I'll say it's quite an honor to be able to speak, and hopefully I can keep it together, because, you know, when Zurvita came into our life, there was a lot of stuff that was obviously going on, and, you know, a lot of people know we came from another company and whatnot, but you know, it really was, and I spoke, you know, because you watched the video. I'll have to, you know, maybe I'll go back to that so everybody can kind of know what you did. But, you know, I talked about being committed and how it impacted others. And for me, it started off with a single guy that had committed a long time ago to be better. And, you know, the thing that struck me is, you know, he never took credit for that. He just, you know, he just wanted to be better. And you know, he always says, you know, it's not me, it's God. And I believe that, because, you know, life is very unscripted, and you never know how to plan, but God's always got a plan. And what I'll say is, you know, the group had started way back when, because, you know, and I'm going to say his name because it was, you know, he wanted to be better, and that's Jamie. Jamie's just been such a huge, you know, mentor to me and several other people. And, you know, because he wanted to commit to something, you know, I don't think he ever really understood the impact that he was going to make on people. And, you know, and when we got started here, you know, he started this Transform Life group, you know, from, you know, through Zurvita and whatnot. And, you know, we had to read that pledge, and I'd never, ever put myself out there. And I know he went live that morning or mid-afternoon, and I thought, man, I just got to be first. Like, I've never been first. I've never been the guy to step out and just go first. And, you know, and I just, like, I needed to do something different, because what I had done the 40-some years or 30-some years just obviously didn't work. So, you know, the day that I got on there live and I spoke that pledge, a lot had happened. Like for one, I really just set myself free. And I just knew that from that day forward that things were going to change, because I was ready to change. I was ready to make that change, because for starters, I'd never done anything first. I remember we did other things, and I would get a text message like, hey, why ain't you done this? Or why, to encourage me. But I just wasn't ready, I guess, at my time. I guess I was ready to, I wanted to do something different, but I never took that step. And this pledge, when I spoke it that day, I truly set myself free. And then just by committing, so much more has happened in my life. So much more has happened in my children's life. One of those, few of those things were, with my daughter, we'd started in January 6th, like a lot of people did. And what had happened was we had a very busy weekend with sports and this and that and the other. We came home, and Monday we had to take care of our own four walls with laundry and life stuff. And she said, Dad, we going to the gym? And I said, well, not today. And she had said, well, Dad, you said we were going to the gym yesterday. I said, well, sweetie, we can't, because look at all the stuff we got to do. We got to catch up on laundry. We got dishes. We got stuff we got to do. It's already 5 o'clock. We haven't eaten nothing yet and whatnot. And she says to me, but you said we were going. And I said, well, I can tell you this much. We're not going to quit. And what she said next, pretty much, it meant everything, because what she said was, that's what you said last year. Because we've tried and we've gave up, and we've just kind of gotten our own heads, and I think that's partially because we never committed, and we really just, it made me realize some things that at that point, like, we are committed, and we have to be that light, and it was starting to show. So that gave me even more motivation. And I believe it goes back to speaking that day that, hey, I was going to do this for 90 days, and I wanted to be different, and I, at that time when I spoke it, I thought, well, I'll speak it, but it was different. There was just something really, really different about actually saying it and putting it out there. Like like a ton of bricks was lifted off my shoulders. And, we're fast forward a little bit, a week and a half ago, well, prior to that, I had committed in our men's group, to jogging or, briskly walking 50 miles. We were trying to hit 300 miles for the month, and I got on there again, and I committed to 50 miles. I don't know what I was thinking that day, but I just knew that I had to put myself out there, right? So, it was Sunday. We didn't go to the gym, and my boy and my daughter wanted to ride their bike, and I remember, he's pedaling his bike, and I'm helping him, and we get down around the corner, and the sidewalk is a little bit slanted, and he says, he says, Dad, he said, man, why is it so tough? And I said, well, you're going to go through things like that. He said, but partially because the sidewalk is, it's slanted. I said, if you want to, I said, you can get off and Dad will push your bike home. He goes, Dad, I'm not giving up. And I just thought, man, that was huge. And it never resonated with me then, because in the past, he may have just said, okay, Dad, I'm fine with that. But because they see me committed and they see me stepping out to do some things differently in my life, that, it's really starting to rain down on them. And, and it's just like, man, wow, it's crazy how a little bit of, commitment and the impact that I never honestly thought it was going to make. I was just trying to convince myself that I could actually do this. And it helps me have amazing products, but, I just like, it was a turning point, like, man, I'm actually doing this. So, a little while later, it was last Friday, I took off Thursday from the gym, and I went in Friday, and I, got my 3 miles in. About a mile and a half into that, I took a fuel, and I thought, well, okay, I'll push through this, because I'll just be honest, I didn't really want to be there. I wasn't really feeling it, but so I took a fuel, and my wife was done working out. My kids were over there in the playroom at the Y, and they were playing, around, and I remember texting my wife, and this is at like 9-something p.m. and I said, hey, I'm at 3.48, and she's like, well, will you hurry up, because I'm getting hangry. And I remember it's like, well, I'm almost done, and I wanted to quit at 4, and I thought, man, 5 is right around the corner, right? So I was on there, and I started to get emotional, and the reason why that was is because my family has waited forever for me to step up and commit for their whole childhood, and they're waiting, for me to just be who God made me to be, and unleash that potential. And I'm thinking, now they're actually waiting for me to finish up the work to complete and to continue to be committed on the treadmill. They're waiting for me to do that. And it resonated with me too, that it's like, man, you're finally starting to do it. They're starting to notice, they're starting to take heed of what you're doing. And it made me feel so good that, it's like they waited for you to get started. Now they're waiting for you to finish, because they're all hungry, So for me, it was more or less, just speaking it, getting out there. Obviously you've seen the video, so I held a little bit better, held it together a little better today. But I mean, it's just got me emotional, man. Like, I never thought speaking it was going to turn into such a big thing. And then I realized that my commitment could do exactly what Jamie's commitment did several years ago. And I would have people that I would impact. And I never realized that it was going to be of this magnitude.
I need to say something. And first of all, I love you. I love your heart. I appreciate you sharing. God's never early. He's never late. He's always right on time.
Amen.
And you are right exactly where you're supposed to be in history. But I will say this, whether it's building the biggest team, whether it's being a great husband or wife, whether it's being the CEO of a company or a father or a mother, my children know that I speak for a living. They're more interested in watching me like a TV to see how I live my life. My daughter, who's now a vegan, she basically has emulated her dad. She's also like this Instagram sensation. She's got more followers than me because she's into cosmetology. My point is that, what do they say? The sins of the father become the sins of the son. And to break that chain of bondage, so to speak, whether it's in work or family, is so imperative. And I just commend you. You inspire me and everyone, because you are so right. It's like to truly change, to have a different mindset, to get your mind out of the gutter, to truly speak it, because we prophesize, good or bad, what comes out of our mouth. It's biblical. Words create life or death. So it's like, for you to speak it, your kids and your family are watching you. They're rooting for you internally. They don't want to put too much pressure on you, but as they see you live your life and it becomes part of your DNA, that is what's going to give them peace and hope. So for the people that are listening throughout the whole country, what would be the take-home message of speaking it, of living it, of truly making that commitment? And I'm going to say this, and I was just saying this at our Zurvita production house. I was talking about speaking it, and then I was talking about making a commitment, ironically. And I said, let's take that word commitment and turn it into covenant. covenant is used for this thing called matrimony, where failure is not an option. There is no plan B. It's not like some agreement that you make where attorneys say, okay, you're making a commitment for an agreement if it's null and void, if services aren't rendered. This is truly making a covenant between you and your creator and living by example. So for all the people out there that want to do it, but maybe don't believe in themselves, and maybe you're having a hard time making that commitment, what would you tell them?
Wow, man. I would say this, that's a great question. What I would say to that is if you struggle believing in yourself, I would start speaking over yourself, because it took a lot for me. Like, I was confident. I was very confident in what I do, but I don't think I truly believed it. I don't think I truly believed that I could be that next guy. I don't think I really truly believed that I could lead people, and I was really just struggling to lead my family. But the most important thing is I had to start leading myself, until I started leading myself and started carrying through that way and making those changes. There was no light for anybody else to see. And I would say that with those little changes, you just got to start somewhere. It doesn't matter, for me, it was just, I just had to start. I had to do something different. And for me, it was speaking it that day. It was just, December 31st was speaking it. And then I just kind of had to believe it a little bit, but then I had to make the step to make that change. I couldn't just speak it and still stay in the same spot. I had to start walking it out, so to speak, and start progressing. And then I really had to prove to my children and my wife that I was really going to do this, because my wife has really she's been a big part in this. Behind every good man, there's a strong woman, they say, and she's been in my journey one of the strongest people, besides our Lord and Father. But I mean, she's the one that has believed in me from day one. And she's the one that said that you're going to do great things. But until I started to believe it, it would never happen that way. And I had to take the step. And I just wasn't willing to, at the time, to get out of my comfort zone and take that step to show myself. It wasn't about showing them or the people around me. It was to show myself. And I started believing, because I started saying, you know what, I can do this, and I can be that guy. And that's all transpired into our men's group, the Transform Life, leading in that group, and started an accountability group in there, because I spoke it that day. Because if I'd have never spoke that, and I would have been the guy that sat in the back of the room and not really said anything, but just observed, we wouldn't be having this conversation today, and my family wouldn't be doing those monumental things like not giving up, and my son telling his basketball team, hey guys, don't give up, we're going to do this. And he's in second grade, and it's like things like that, sometimes things don't hit you until after the fact. Like when I recorded him doing that, and I'm sure Jamie can send you the video of that too, and I didn't really even put that into perspective. But except for the fact of, man, like, that's crazy that he thinks like that. But they think like that because I started to think like that, and I started to believe in myself. And I'd say if you're struggling with people struggling, reach out. The most courageous thing I ever did was ask for help, and get involved. And not just get involved with people, but try to find the right people and attach myself to the right people. And then that included cutting some people out of my life that wasn't going to take me anywhere. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things. I hope that answers the question. I hope that helps somebody. But that's the best way I can answer that, Peter.
And what you just said, one of the hardest things I had to do to grow in Christ and to grow as a human was I needed to fire some people out of my life, not because I was better, not because I didn't love them, because their lifestyle didn't align what God has ordained for me. And it was just static. So I could love them from the sidelines. I could root for them. I could pray for them. But I needed to be strong enough to literally separate myself from them. The other take home that I get that I think a lot of people will resonate with is, if you don't believe in yourself, when people take, years ago when we had our 90-day challenge, or with my health clubs, if someone didn't believe they're going to lose weight, if someone doesn't believe they're going to reconcile and make their marriage work, if someone doesn't believe they're going to break an addiction, there's no way they're going to. So it's like, you need to believe it first, because the only way you can live it is if you truly become it by believing it. Because when you believe something, you embody it. When you embody it, you become it. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so emotionally, spiritually vulnerable, naked, because that's the way we grow. That's what this Zurvita community chat is all about. It's about into me you see. It's about this intimacy that we create that really, I feel, creates itself, because here you're talking and it's going to resonate with people throughout the country that hopefully in their alone time with God, they're going to be asking some questions. They're going to be asking for some answers. And that's the only way. When the easiest prayer that anyone could ever ask for is, God, help me. God, shed light on where I need your beacon of light, So I just, my hope and my prayer is that God protects you. He uses you in a mighty way, and he is going to just truly put just a hench of protection around you and your family, and you will lead by example. Your shoulders will be back, your chest will be out, and many, many men will be affected by how you are living your life and speaking it. So thank you so much for being on this call today.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I'm just, I'm very, very thankful. And I'll say this, and I'm just very, very thankful for all the years that Jamie and Holly believed in my family and believed in me, because there was times it's like, man, me and my wife would talk. It's like, man, why do they just keep pouring into us, And I'm just so grateful that now I'm able to pay it forward and to do the same thing that they have done with us to make somebody else become stronger in their four walls. And I hope that I live up to that standard to be able to do that with people. And I think it's already started with the legacy that we're building here in our home,
I agree.
And I'm just very, very grateful for people like you that took the time to stay and chose Zurvita over anything else. And very thankful for, Mark and Tracy, because, they could have done something totally different too. And I'm very thankful that God has placed every one of us where we need to be placed. And there's no doubt that he doesn't make mistakes. And I'm very thankful for the fact that the people that has stayed committed even when it was tough, because we all wouldn't be here right now.
And I want to leave with this. I want to give a little shout out to your wife. And what I will say is that I believe with all my heart, if we get out of our own way and we're a believer, God already, and I say this to all the men that are listening, allow God to pick your bride. Allow God to make her his bride, so that she can mirror that love to you. Because 1 and 1 equals 1,000,000 when God brings two people together.
Yeah.
No one can separate that.
Yeah.
And I just feel that that's what's happening in your life right now.
Absolutely.
So, so receive that, embrace that, enjoy that, live that. And again, thank you for being on this call.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And very humbled and very blessed to be on this call. I appreciate it. Thanks for having faith in me to send the right message.
Yes. And Adriel, I'm going to get ready to get on a plane, so I'm going to hand it back to you. And again, I just say this to everybody, now more than ever, we need to stay close to the people we love. We need to fill the gaps with leadership, with not panic, with not stress. This is not about this is about we. And if we come together and we truly, as I said before, get out of our own way and help people, because there's people that are calling me that are just anxiety ridden, that are just climbing out of their skin. And this is time for us to help them, help people that are sick, help people that have autoimmune conditions, just love on people. Because at the end of the day, I believe with all my heart, how God will judge us. It's how we love his people. And now more than ever, we need humble leaders to stand up and stand strong. And again, we have some of the best ingredients and the best products. And think about it, we're in the wellness business. We have this opportunity to shout out to the world on things that people could take that will help their autoimmune system. So I love each and every one of you. I'm going to get home safely. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to kiss my people at home as well as my dogs. and I will literally see each and every one of you next week. And don't forget our Motivational Mondays. Over the weekend, we do meal prepping. Tuesdays, I'll be giving a workout every Tuesday, as well as Fitness Tuesday. So God bless each and every one of you. Take care of yourself. The most important thing that you own is the one model year that God has given you. Peace out. God bless.
Hey, you better text me when you get home.
I will.
All right. I think, my takeaway from a lot of this is it's like he's getting on an airplane, right? If the plane goes down, you're supposed to put your mask on first, right? You can't help other people if you're not helping yourself. You can't properly love other people until you learn to love yourself. And we are very fortunate to know and understand and respect like the love of God, right? So like if he should love you, why shouldn't you? Like, why wouldn't I love myself? Because he created me in his image, which means that I'm worth it. I'm worth loving. I'm worth taking care of. I'm worth putting myself first. And I think there's this misconception where you think that putting yourself first makes you selfish, but it doesn't. Because how can you help other people if you're sick, if you're falling, if you're mentally not there? Like, you have to take care of those things first. It's like, Anthony, I understand that. I relate to that so much. Like, your mental health changes everything. You could be like going to the gym and eating healthy, but be so messed up mentally that like you're very unhealthy. You're super unhealthy, and you'll end up falling into the same routines over and over again. So you have to conquer the reasons you do certain things. For me, I grew up in an abused house where I was told that I wasn't good enough, that I wouldn't amount to anything, right? That I wasn't pretty. And you end up like, it becomes a part of you believe it, right? So someone says something to you enough times, you will start to believe it. And it's our responsibility to take control of our emotions, our beliefs, our thoughts, because we are the only ones who can control them. Someone can get mad at you and whatever for not helping them while you're taking care of yourself. But when they need help and you're actually able to do it later, that's when it's going to matter. So I think especially with everything that's going on right now, I think it's really important that we take care of ourselves. I was telling Holly this earlier, and I talked to Peter. My aunt was diagnosed with coronavirus this morning. So there are things that are going to hit you over the next few weeks. And is it scary? It's scary, right? Like, what the crap? What's happening? Like, we're being told to stay home, and like there's no toilet paper, which is so weird. And but as much as my family is hurting because we're sad that she's in pain, she's healthy, she's staying positive, we're calling her. You know, there are things that you can do for people. There's things that you can do for yourself during this. And being a part of the problem isn't at all going to make any difference, right? So one of the things that I've been trying to really do, one for my own sanity, is stick to a routine. My thing went down. So my phone died. My thing is, I'm still have to work, right? I'm still working. I feel like I'm probably working more now. Get up and stick to a routine, you know? Don't let this change who you are. Don't let this change your lifestyle. Get up, work out, eat healthy. You know, I'm very fortunate that I don't keep junk food in my house, or else it would probably be gone right now, first of all. But it, you know, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself mentally and emotionally, and be there for other people. Really help them and love on people, because if you're scared, so are they. You know, it doesn't mean that we have to live in fear and let it control how we process everything. You know, get up and dance it out. Get up and go run down the block. Take your dog for a walk. Go do a workout in your house. Call your family. Call your loved ones. Don't let this hinder anything. I think that's one of the things about this group I love, is we can be that for each other right now. We can go into these groups and we can reach out and be like, I love you. Do you need anything? And so I love you. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Zurvita is still working. We might not be in the office, but we're still working. We're still here for you. We want to make sure your livelihoods are taken care of in the next few weeks before we all get kind of like back to normal. It's one of the reasons we're doing these workouts in the morning, which we wanted to do anyway, and now we're going to continue them. So any kind of feedback or anything like that, things that you're struggling with right now, whether it's from a business standpoint or a workout standpoint, whatever you need, just we would like for you to reach out to us and let us know. We want to be able to help you. We want to be able to do that for you. So I'll sign off and let you guys get about your day. But just remember that you are loved and you are worthy, and this shall pass, just like everything else does, right? You've survived everything in your life so far, so you're going to survive this too. But until next week, and if you need anything in the meantime, you know exactly where to find all of us. Okay. Bye, you guys.